The Acolyte has people at each other's throats, man. It is going crazy on X, Twitter, wherever you want to call it. It is like the wild, wild west, dude. Everybody is divided. Everybody's super aggressive and just, it's wild, dude. If you don't have an X, you don't have a Twitter, I suggest get on there and just see what people are talking about when it comes to Star Wars, specifically the Acolyte. It has fractured I want to say it's fractured, but it almost seems like unanimously it's brought a lot of people together just because it's so bad. But this video, the purpose of this video is I want to talk about people's quarrels with the show and kind of explain it in more of a, approachable manner because so many people are so guns hot. I'm just laughing at this point. I love Star Wars, but it is so bad and it has been bad for so long. I just don't care anymore. You can call it what it is. I'm grifting. I'm watching this Acolyte show just to gain a following, just to increase my subscription count, just to meet more of you. That's why I'm watching it. I could care two shits how bad Star Wars is nowadays because I mean it's trash. It's been trash for a minute. It's been trash since the sequel trilogy. Sure, we had some member berries in The Mandalorian, but other than that, it just hasn't been good, dude. It just has not been good, and the Acolyte is no different. And this one, people are upset. I think the biggest grief people have with this show is the breaking of canon, the lack of respect for the source material and lore, and the complete just shelving stuff. I mean, the Katamunde, or however you say the guy's name, the Jedi, big head, the opposite crow's nest, haircut, two brains, guy in the Phantom Menace or the prequel trilogy that states that the Sith haven't been seen in millennia or whatever, and he's not even supposed to be born during the Acolyte. His birth doesn't line up with the time frame, and it just got really worse with episode 5 with Smilo Ren or Darth Teeth or whatever people were calling him. That he revealed himself to Soul as being a Sith. And so after this guy just murked, I don't know, 6, 7, however many Jedi there were, he just murked them all. I mean, these guys have lightsaber wounds. They're dead. You got to explain it somehow. And how? Because in the prequel trilogy, they state that the Sith have not been mentioned in millennia. And now you have these Jedi that are not going to show up, that are not going to be, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of investigation that's done, and they're going to see the wounds. They're going to see what's happened, and they're going to ask questions. Is this Darth whatever going to just nuke everybody, just cover his tracks? I mean, it's going to be a real reach to be able to cover this one up. So the lore breaking, the breaking of canon and the lack of respect for the source material and lore, it's got people up in arms, man. And I'm probably missing stuff. If you watch my channel, you know it's all I just talk whatever comes to my mind. So I mean, I'm there's more. I'm sure there is, but that's the big one, dude. The Sith not being around, and it is clearly stated in the prequel trilogy, and it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's a mess. And then we have the convenient things that happen to move the plot forward, the lack of plot, the lack of cohesive story, the lack of proper good dialogue. I mean, the list goes on and on about what's bad about this show. But my biggest gripe, really, to be honest, is the convenience of the plot, or convenience of the convenient things. Excuse me, I'm stuttering a lot. The convenient things that are happening in these episodes to move the story along. Or episode 5 was just glaring to me, dude. Like I said in my previous video, in my review, dude, the fact that Soul has the killing blow right there to deliver against this Sith, and he doesn't take it because I'm assuming they're rolling with the idea Jedi do not kill or harm or whatever an unarmed opponent, and Osho is able to talk him out of it, I suppose. And it's just they set the little moth, butterfly, beetle, caterpillar, whatever the hell they are on him, and they fly away. And it's just, when you're watching it, you're just like, oh my god, dude, he's coming back. That was just so lazy, just to get him out of danger, to move the story forward. And it's just things like that. I mean, the silly thing at the end where before we get there, let's talk about another part of the ending, I guess, when May, or I'm having a brain fart. I think her name's May, Osha's sister, twin sister. She cuts her hair off with a lightsaber, and the way it was shot, it looked like it was supposed to be some, like, I don't. It was corny as hell, But I'm just thinking, dude, in the previous episode, I think it might have been episode two. I think it was episode two. I think it was episode two, where we get the flashbacks of them at the lesbian witch coven, and they're receiving the mark. They're pledging themselves to this lesbian cult, this witch coven, and May receives a mark on her head, distinctively being that's a distinct mark on her fucking forehead. It's like Harry Potter, you know. You can't really hide Harry Potter because he's got a big ass lightning bolt on his forehead. Same with this. She cuts her hair, switches clothes, does the little Parent Trap shit, and May goes with Soul, and Osha goes with Darth Smiley. And how is that going to work? This lady has a huge brand on her forehead, and it's white, I'm pretty sure. It's like a white, it looks like a white tattoo. You seen those? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it sticks out, and then she had her hair's, you know, braids, or I think it's the braids, dreads. I don't know what you want to call them, but I mean, one head movement and it's visible. It's just like, or I saw somebody talking about when Soul's following her. Do you not smell burnt hair? Is nobody raising the question why Osha smells like absolute shit? Have you ever burnt your hair starting a grill or a fire and your forearm hair gets burnt? It's rank, dude. It's stanky, and it don't go away for a minute. How do you explain that? Why are all your why is all of your hair singed, Osha? Well, it's like you left the propane on. What happened? Why is it all gone? It's just so silly, dude. It's absolutely silly. Not silly plot. Like, oh my gosh, dude. The whole light thing to attract the moths, or I'm gonna call them moths, to the Sith to save the day, to get him away. I mean, in the previous scene in the episode, she's telling Yord, "Hey, dude, turn your fucking lightsaber off. They're attracted to it." And he's like, "What? What's attracted to it? Like, you weren't there previously in the old rip off of Lord of the Rings. Let's trek along for 30 minutes because we have no story to tell thing." Like, oh, dude, man, it's silly things after silly things, and it's just Disney getting it in its own way. It's Disney Star Wars getting in its own way. And I mean, the Jedi don't even act like Jedi in this show. And I feel like the Jedi haven't acted like Jedi for a fucking minute. Luke acted like a complete nut job. Completely polar opposite of what we've come to know of Luke. He was just a sad, depressed, feeble old man. And what happened to the Jedi? What happened to the Jedi? I mean, like in this, we're supposed to feel bad for the Sith. You know, all he wants to do is roam free and be the best he can be and just have no rule. And people just leave him alone to go raise havoc across the galaxy. We're supposed to feel bad for him like this Jedi are the bad guys. It's just, dude. It's a riot. It's an absolute riot. And all this is stemming from because people have valid criticisms, whether it be your favorite YouTuber, whether it just be your buddy who's a fan who doesn't like the show. Everybody has valid criticisms, well-deserved criticisms, but these Disney shills, I'm going to call them, these people on the other side, they just keep moving the goalposts back and back and back, dude. If you watch people discuss or converse or argue like I do on Twitter, you see the goalposts constantly being moved. I think it was either Star Wars Theory or Geeks and Gamers, you know. They were talking about how the fandom was saying, part of the fandom was saying, he's not a Sith, he's not a Sith, he's not a Sith. And now that it's revealed that he was a Sith, they're saying maybe he's not a real Sith. Maybe he's just a little side thing, you know, acting that part, but he's not a real Sith kind of thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, dude, admit you were wrong. I don't understand why there's a problem with people not liking the show and voicing their opinion. But on the other hand, you can just sit there and just rave and brag about everything that you dig about it. You can't have one without the other. People are going to like it. People are going to hate it. Both deserve to talk about it. Both are, you know, deserving to put their opinions out there. Yeah, there are people that get carried away and start sending death threats and get over aggressive and start threatening the guy's dog and family and stuff. And it gets a little wild. There's weirdos out there. But everybody should be able to voice their opinion, whether you like something or you don't. You should be able to form your own opinions. Just because I don't like something, if you're watching this, doesn't mean you have to sit there and just get mad about the whole situation, or you have to base your opinion off what I say or what anybody else is saying. Form your own opinions. Listen to the other side. That's the biggest. I'm from America. That's the biggest problem we got going on right now is there's no discourse. Everybody just gets mad because everybody feels a different way. And if it's not my way, I fucking hate you. You're wrong. You're a bigot. You're an ist. You're an ism. You're something. There's a name in the book for everything nowadays. And it's just nobody's talking. We can't have a difference of opinion and still get along. We are all Star Wars fans. Some of us are just Disney shills and want to praise everything. I don't even know if you're Star Wars fans, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're all Star Wars fans. Have a fucking opinion. I think this show's trash. I think it has its problems. If you're really into it, like, okay, so this new equipment I heard, why all the lightsabers were being like shorted and going out, like everybody was reigniting their fucking lightsaber every 30 seconds. Apparently, this Darth Sith dude, the Sith guy, he has some sort of technology that can what's the word I'm looking for? Short out a lightsaber essentially. This is nitpicking, but where was that technology 150 years down the road? You don't think the Jedi or Darth Vader would have liked to have that shit on his stuff? Like, you don't think that? I get it. Like, see, I find it silly that you do something that bold because it would have been nice. You know, I don't understand why that technology isn't there in the shows and movies, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be that guy who bitches about something when we go to a previous timeline earlier in the, you know, go further back in the past and we see a little more unique things that we didn't necessarily see in the movies and the shows and the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. There's going to be things added. I get that creativeness. People are going to start. The Force is just a crazy thing. I understand. There's going to be things added that weren't in previous films. I understand. It's a little nitpicking, but you can't be upset with people finding that just ridiculous. You know, I think the laser whip lightsaber that we're going to get in one of these episodes eventually. It's like, it's just a silly idea for me. Yes, it's in books in the extended universe and all that stuff. I understand it's in comics or whatever. I get it, it's a thing, but to me, it's just ridiculous. And if I get upset or if I just think it's dumb for seeing it on screen, so fucking what? I think it's dumb. Okay, I know we got off a little bit of a tangent there, but I mean, there was really no plan for this video. I just want to talk about the issues at hand, and I had one, and now I'm having a brain fart. And the more I talk about it, the less I'm going to remember it. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! What was I going to talk about? What was I going to talk about? This isn't it, but I want to hammer this home as well. They don't have a story to tell. How many how many shows has it been so far where there wasn't a story to tell in Book of Boba Fett? They had to take 2 episodes and make it the fucking Mandalorian because there was no story to tell. The Kenobi story. They talk about breaking canon and the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fighting before the events of A New Hope. They have no story to tell. They do if they just would admit, hey, we're not too proud to take stories from these EU books. There's a fucking whole Kenobi book out there. I don't know why you use it. I don't know why you gotta just rely on these member berries and bang home this Anakin. Dude, Kenobi wasn't even the main character in the show. They put a label on something. Okay, I'm going down a tangent. They don't have stories to tell, and we see it in the Acolyte. That's another quarrel. There's a lot of filler, and maybe it works for animated stuff. Maybe it does. But when it comes to live action, when we have a 30-minute episode of just a bunch of people following fucking the little bunny rabbit thing going on, being their tracker, nothing happens. They're walking through a forest with a bunch of characters that nobody gives two shits about, and we're supposed to be entertained. Why not make this a 6-episode season, a 5-episode season with hour-long episodes instead of making these stupid filler episodes? I cannot stand the idea of these filler episodes in all these fucking live-action Star Wars shows. They have no stories. The creative team over there can't come up with a cohesive storyline to save their fucking life to create a TV show. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, episode 2. It was 102 minutes of great television because there was a cohesive storyline that was well acted and just delivered properly. We don't ever get that with Star Wars, and I don't understand why. They have the budget, Disney has the money, they have the resources to hire the writers, to hire the creative team, to hire the actors. They have the resources, and I don't understand why it's always so lackluster. We're kind of branching out here. We're getting away from the Acolyte, but it's just a continuous problem that we continue to see. And people get mad at us for saying such things. Like it's not legit. Why in the Book of Boba Fett, I think it was a 6-episode season, there were 2 episodes that had nothing, hardly anything to do with him. If I remember correctly, nothing to do with him. Why is that? Because they didn't have a story to tell. And we're just expected to shut up and take it. Here's a funny thing I saw on Twitter. Star Wars theories going at it with people. You know, people are voicing their opinions on him, and it's gotten gnarly. It's been civil. It's been all in between. But I saw some guy essentially say, "Hey, dude, it's your face. It's your face on camera. It portrays just negativity and another word that they're one of those words they like to use." And I'm just sitting there like, I think Star Wars theory can come off as kind of a grump. I've said it before. I'm sure he's nice. He's Canadian for the most part. Outside of Trudeau, I'm pretty sure everybody's nice in Canada. But he can come off as a little bit of a grump. But hey, who doesn't? Who's not grumpy sometimes? You can't put an act on all the time. But to sit there as one of your excuses of how, you know, riling up fans and getting fans pissed off is your face. You're just the way you look. I mean, you're reaching at fucking straws at this point. It's just the discourse is just insane on X or Twitter right now. I don't know if I should title this some sort of quarrels with the Acolyte or quarrels on Twitter. Like just Star Wars fandom on X right now. It's just, good Lord, man. I had to make a video. What else to talk about than the Acolyte? What's going on right now? We got another week till the episode 3 House of Dragon. There's no trailers I want to react to. There's no movies. I did watch The First Omen. I might do a review on that. And for all you horror junkies out there, I've never seen The Omen. Never. I have an idea of what it's about, the anime, you know, all that stuff. But I watched The First Omen the other day, and let me tell you, the other day, I watched it last night. I enjoyed it. It's one of those horror films that just, it's just so good. Sorry, I'm a little glossy. I'm in my garage. I still have yet to get the fan. It's hotter than hell. Don't ask me why I'm a hoodie. I'm wearing a hoodie, but yeah, The First Omen, good. If you liked it, if you like horror, I would definitely recommend go watching that. But that's about all I can think of right now. The silly soul, just silly. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. Comment, let me know your thoughts on the current state of the Star Wars fandom. And hey, dude, keep an eye out for episode 6 review, House of Dragon episode 3 review, and whatever movie or drama pops off in the next week. Deuces.